Been reading the story of David again lately and ran across the verse that kind of spoke to me. And it is in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 29, where David said, "What have I done now? Is there not a cause?" If you know the story of David, you might recognize that quote of David's. David had been sent by his dad to go see his older brothers who were in the army of Israel and currently on a campaign fighting against the Philistines and their chief Goliath. By the time David showed up there, Goliath was in the valley doing what he did a couple of times a day, bad-mouthing God's people, and even worse, bad-mouthing the Lord. David was livid. How can anyone tolerate our God being spoken of like that? And he voiced his concern, and his older brother Eliab kind of got in his face and questioned his small work and his small stature. And what are you going to do about it, And David said what we just read. What have I done now? Isn't there a cause? If you know the rest of the story, you know that eventually David will volunteer himself, as small as he was, to use the implements that he had learned that the Lord would use, a slingshot as he protected his father's sheep. And God would use him to remove this formidable and look like overwhelming foe to God's people. Up until this point, Saul had, not knowing the Lord, been offering his army all kinds of incentives to go out and fight. Offered them a free tax life, the hand of his daughter in marriage, and really whatever they could want in the flesh. And yet that wasn't enough to get them to risk their lives. And I thought about that. So, we live in a world today that is more and more antagonistic to the Lord, and to speak out for him can sometimes be a little intimidating, if not downright off-putting. And yet we've probably never lived at a time when the gospel will look brighter and more appealing to the hearts of people than today, the things that they have to face and live with. And so as believers, we get this great opportunity to invest ourselves in the people around us, maybe to pray a little bit more often, maybe to fast and pray, and to ask the Lord to keep us in this busy time of our lives available for the opportunities that may very well sneak up on us. David, I don't think, was planning to go to war. He was planning to hand off some food to the general or to the commander that was over his brothers' lives. He wasn't planning to fight that day. I don't think he had any intention of it, but yet in reacting to his love for the Lord and what he saw, he spoke up and God used him. And I think God can do that for us as well. After all, Jesus said, "Look out into the fields. They're white unto harvest. The laborers are few." How about we get out there in the fields a little bit more often, even when Goliath looks so daunting, and share the love of God with those who need to hear it, so that God might use us as he used David that day. God bless you today.